Have you ever noticed how some people fall apart right when life starts going well? They land their dream job, buy the house, travel, achieve, accumulate. But then, out of nowhere, comes the emptiness. The marriage goes cold, the faith disappears, and the joy that seemed guaranteed vanishes. It's not bad luck, and it's not coincidence. There's a kind of trap no one talks about. It doesn't look dangerous, but it's sneaky. It hides in the promotions, the bonuses, the applause, and it slips in when everything seems under control. Its name? Abundance. Yes, that very thing you spend your whole life chasing can, without you realizing it, become what distances you from what matters most. Today, we're going to talk about something almost no one dares to admit, but that silently may be stealing your peace, draining your faith, and emptying your purpose. You know that comfortable life everyone's after? More income, fewer debts, stability, plans working out. Everything seems perfect, right? But what if, in the middle of it all, you start to feel distant, less connected to God, less grateful, less spiritually alive, even surrounded by material blessings? It's not an exaggeration. There's a subtle, almost invisible pattern. The more we gain, the less we realize we're losing ourselves. And what should be a reason for worship becomes a distraction. And the most striking part? This was foretold millennia ago. Sacred texts warn us. The danger isn't only in the struggles, but also in the good days, when we think we no longer need to depend. There's an uncomfortable truth few are willing to face. Abundance can corrode the soul more than lack ever could. Why? Because it distracts us. It numbs the senses. It lulls the mind into a false sense of control. And slowly, the heart begins to trade dependence on God for a silent system of self-confidence. In scarcity, prayer is urgent. In abundance, it becomes optional. In scarcity, every provision feels like a miracle. In abundance, everything looks like merit. Psalm 16:6 shows David recognizing, "The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Surely I have a delightful inheritance." But notice, he doesn't credit himself. He doesn't show off, compare, or boast. He worships. He recognizes that even the beauty of the land he walks on is a gift, not a personal conquest. And the question that needs to echo inside us is simple but piercing. Are we celebrating the giver or just the gifts? It's easy to forget, easy to thank God for the job and stop seeking His direction for the day. Easy to praise Him for the new house and neglect the family altar. Easy to fill the table and empty the spirit. Maybe you've already received a lot, more than you ever imagined. But do you still remember who gave it all to you? Experienced pastors, solid theologians, even Christian psychologists have been raising the same warning. And not just recently. Abundance can intoxicate the heart. It offers a dangerous kind of comfort, a comfort that disables spiritual vigilance. Suddenly, you stop depending. You start trusting more in your resources than in the grace of God. You don't say it out loud, of course, but it shows in your lifestyle, in your priorities, in your habits. It's that silent attitude that says, "I've got this, everything's under control." And little by little, the God who provides is replaced by a positive balance. Prayer becomes routine. The Bible, decoration. Faith, a formality. Jesus warned us about this. In Revelation 3:17, He confronted the church in Laodicea with strong but precise words. You say, "I am rich. I have acquired wealth and do not need a thing. But you do not realize that you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked." That's the portrait of a heart deceived by abundance. It looks full on the outside, but inside, it's starving for new purpose. Students of the human soul agree. An ego inflated by success is one of the greatest obstacles to true faith, because where there is pride, there is no room for surrender. And here's the key point. God does not compete with self-sufficiency. He reveals Himself to those who surrender, not to those who think they're enough. But now, Here comes the most important part. How do we break this cycle? How do we protect the heart without having to lose everything to start depending on God again? Is there a way? An antidote? Is it possible to stay sensitive to the voice of the Spirit, even when everything seems to be going well financially, emotionally, structurally, and more? Could it be that you've already fallen into this trap without even realizing it? Has your everyday comfort made you spiritually drowsy? There is an answer, and it's not a mystery hidden in the heavens. It's simple, and at the same time, deeply transformative. But before I show you, stop for a second and think honestly. If today, exactly today, you lost everything, your home, your income, your possessions, what would be left of your faith? Would you still be able to believe, to worship, to hope? Or is your faith dependent on what's in your account, your status, your control? Jesus said in Luke 12:15, "Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." The question is, do you still believe that? Abundance itself was never the enemy. The real issue is what it reveals. It exposes where our trust lies. It shows whether our heart is grounded on the rock or on what moth and rust destroy. The Bible is clear. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:21. In other words, it was never about how much you have, but about who you've become while gaining it. Abundance can be a beautiful blessing, or a silent trap. It all depends on how much room you still reserve for the giver, and not just the gifts. The real antidote? It's not poverty. It's not guilt. It's constant gratitude that keeps the heart humble. It's daily worship that reminds us who the story is really about. It's spiritual vigilance, so we don't trade the eternal for what fades. It's not about having less. It's about remembering more. More of God. More of His voice. More of the mission He entrusted to you, even before you gained what you have today. If this message truly spoke to you, don't leave without hitting the like button. It tells the platform this content needs to reach more hearts like yours. Subscribe to the channel right now and turn on the bell so you won't miss any content that helps you live a strong faith in both good times and hard ones. And share this video with someone who's been blessed but might need a reminder of who the source is.